Of our programmes this evening with BBC Scotland on 1. But just before we sign off for the night, let's take a look ahead at the weather forecast for tomorrow. Well, after a bright start in the east, it will then become cloudy.
Hello, Euro 96 is just 45 days away. Scotland's warm-up continued tonight in Copenhagen. Highlights coming up, plus a form guide to our summer group mates, England, Holland and Switzerland. Willie and Billy are here, Willie Miller and Billy McNeill. How great are the Danes and how good are Scotland? Those were the questions as the Scots prepared for England. The hosts are limbering up themselves. They tackled a team strongly fancied to be a major force in the summer, Croatia. We'll see the Swiss in action as well. They played Wales and our other Group A opposition, Holland, against Germany. Plus a big night for snooker Scot Ewan Henderson, a world snooker meeting with Jimmy White at the Crucible. Well, Australia's visit to Hampden last month didn't tell Craig Brown too much. The Scotland manager, still undecided about several places in his summer squad for Euro 96, was hoping tonight's match against the reigning champions Denmark would be more revealing. From Manchester United keeper Peter Schmeichel to Brian Laudrup of Rangers, the Danish team is packed with top-quality players. Injuries meant a Scottish back three of McKimmie, Hendry and Boyd, with Burley and McKinley pushing into midfield. Craig Brown decided to give Jim Leighton and Andy Gorham a half each to try to solve his dilemma of who to play in goals in England. Scotland needed to clamp down on the Laudrup brothers, Michael and Brian, to avoid being overrun in Copenhagen. And the striking combination was Kevin Gallagher of Blackburn and another Anglo, Chelsea's John Spencer. The commentator is Jock Brown.
The enormity of Scotland's task is demonstrated by the fact that Denmark have played here at the Parken Stadium in Copenhagen 14 times since September 1992 when they lost to Germany, and they haven't lost any games, 12 wins and 2 draws. That reflects impressive form from the European champions. So it has been something of a fortress for Kevin Gallagher, a major opportunity to make an impact for his chances in the finals, and Peter Schmeichel gets the early touch he demanded from the Danish defence. So Scotland have started up with Stuart McKimmie, Colin Hendry and Tom Boyd across the back, with Tosh McKinley also dropping back at the start. So it's a 3-man defence or a 5. Craig Burley wide on the right hand side. Burley's first contribution beaten to that high ball by Schoenberg on the far side, Michael Schoenberg of Odense. Jim Leighton wins his 73rd cap tonight. So the Scottish tactics becoming more apparent as the side settle down in the game. Henry, Boyd and McKimmie at the back. Good early chance there for John Spencer. That was well struck by the Chelsea striker. Well, right out of the blue that opportunity arose, and Spencer took the chance from long range. Spencer picks out Burley. Good support play by McKimmie. Here's McAllister involved for the first time in the match. It's good play from Scotland on the right hand side. Tosh McKinley attacking the cross, had to be carefully marked by Helvey. Well, the Danes have a free kick for the push by McKinley, but it was very promising play by the Scots on the right-hand side, dictated by McAllister. This is Colin Hendry, playing right in the centre of the defence for Scotland. Well, the high ball really aimed towards Spencer, unlikely to cause any trouble for the Danish defence. Determined play there by Thompson. Boyd picks it up, looks for the return. Thompson's in the way again. Henry was caught out there. Beck's away from him. Chance on here. Two Laudrups wait in the middle. Here's Beck with a great chance for Denmark. It's the opening goal. Michael Laudrup. The 8th minute of the match. A very bad error on the touchline by Colin Henry. Mikael Beck took full advantage, and so did Michael Laudrup. Well, here was Beck. He's away from Henry here. He had options inside. The ball reaching Michael Laudrup for that accurate finish. Well, the overloading there because Colin Henry had lost possession on the near touchline. So Michael Laudrup gets his 35th international goal. That coming after a reasonably bright start from the Scots. Here's McKinley. McAllister well forward this time. Trying to take the ball right into the penalty box. Cut up by Thompson. Inviting a rash tackle there, McAllister around the box. That's good play there by McKimmie. He was caught going through. Nielsen caught him on the way. That is a free kick to Scotland. McKimmie felt that, and he's had enough injury problems this season to last him a long time. Kick taken short, aimed for Henry. Corner kick given by the far side linesman, rather belatedly. Colin Henry's presence important there for Scotland. Mark Reaper had gone to challenge him. So the corner kick will be taken here by Collins. Boyd and Henry are in the box. McAllister just waiting outside. Much too easy for Schmeichel. And the long throw goes for Laudrup. Beck arrives, a chance here for Denmark for the second. It's a great save by Leighton. And once again, the Scots opened up on the break there by Brian Laudrup. Well, they owe a debt there to Leighton, no question about that. Schoenberg gets there ahead of Burley. Burley's not pleased with the pass. Laudrup's vision was good. Beck came from that deep position at pace. Collins was caught going through. Well, the Danes complaining, but Klaus Thompson and Brian Steen Nielsen appear to close in there on Collins. Now can the Scots profit from the set piece? Michael knows all about Gary McAllister, of course, playing in the Premiership in England. Might not know quite so much about John Collins there, number 11. Well, Collins, you can see there trying to bend that in on the near post. A rueful shake of the head, but Collins is the leading goal scorer in this Scottish side playing tonight. He scored 8 times. Scotland only have a total of 17 goals on the field at the moment. And the Danes pressing on the Scottish defenders when they have possession. They're Laudrup putting pressure on Henry. Well, that's the kind of ball really which is wasted. The high ball straight through the middle. Guarantees possession effectively for the Danes. Here's Lars Olsen again. Out of the side for a year and a half after a bad performance in Spain, Seville in an international match. That's good play by McAllister. This is Spencer. Gallagher's in the inside right position. Spencer continues the run. That's for Gallagher. And a splendid save by Schmeichel. Brilliant play from the Scots, inspired by McAllister. Carried on by Spencer, and then Gallagher's shot. Parried by Schmeichel. Olsen again being allowed a lot of time to come forward. The two Scottish strikers cutting off the wide players. Here's Olsen, he's got all the way himself. It's great play by Olsen. The save was made by Leighton. Well, there's the danger of allowing Olsen to go all the way forward like that. Once again, Jim Leighton has come to Scotland's rescue. Well, maybe a friendly, but both sides playing with a lot of commitment. This is great play here by Olsen and Brian Laudrup. The gap opened up for the big sweeper to go through. What a good save it was by Leighton. This is Colin Henry. That really cannot be a problem for the Danish defence, that kind of ball. Here's Michael Laudrup. 1-2 long possession, but he still has Beck available on the outside. Bad pass to Brian Laudrup. Spencer's layoff. Here's McAllister. Takes over again from Collins. He has McCall supporting from his deeper position in midfield. That means McAllister stays back. This is Burley. Well, Burley's options cut down, of course, because he can't afford to throw a high ball into the box from there. That's Gallagher. Still good, lively attacking play from the Scots. As long as they keep the ball on the ground, they have chances. Now a chance on here for Laudrup. Leighton has stayed on his line. It must be a second for Denmark. It is. The counter-attack pays off and Brian Laudrup gets his 11th international goal. One pass there from Michael Laudrup. I think Jim Leighton may regret not coming all the way out to meet Brian Laudrup. He may have got to the ball first. There's the pass from Michael Laudrup. There was no offside flag. It must have been very close indeed. Leighton staying back made this easy for Brian Laudrup to run past him and play the ball into the empty net. Well, no one better, perhaps in Europe, at taking on goalkeepers one-to-one like this than Laudrup. So the Laudrup brothers enjoying this occasion to the full. Nothing Leighton could do about that after he decided not to make the run to meet the ball. Brian Laudrup roving again, waiting a challenge from Collins, finding Helvey. Boyd goes in heavily on Helvey. It's a yellow card for Boyd. Well, what I think might be called a good foul in the game, to make certain there was no further progress, because the Scottish defence was certainly stretched at that point. It's Brian Laudrup over the free kick. Henry, a key man for the Scots in there. Reaper setting it up only for McCall. Spencer trying to find Collins. McKinley sets off to support him on the outside. There's McKinley going away from Collins, outside him. Available to take the pass. Cross looking for Burley, who did well. That's McAllister. Now Spencer. Couldn't get the ball down quickly enough. Laudrup under pressure there from Boyd. Now it's Beck taking on Henry and McKinney. Supported now by Michael Laudrup. That's for Brian Laudrup. A chance on here again for Denmark. Well, they are explosive coming in these deep positions. The two Laudrups and Beck. And Scotland have not found the answer. Well, in many defences, I think, in European Championships will be equally tested by the two Laudrups and Mikael Beck. An excellent chance this for Brian Laudrup to get his second of the match. The vision is shown up front by Michael Laudrup once again. So important. Michael Laudrup looking for Schonberg. Burley giving some help there to McKinney. And the Danes have a corner kick. Near post corner. Good save again from Leighton. It was Reaper who got to that. So many tall players on this Danish side, and the Scots are stretched to cope with these cross balls. Reaper got up very well indeed. It's a very sharp save by Leighton. Well, huge kick out that from Jim Leighton, but unlikely to bother Mark Reaper when Kevin Gallagher's the diminutive challenger. Boyd's in trouble against Michael Laudrup. Brian Laudrup inside him. Michael trying to do it all by himself. And Leighton did extremely well once again. Michael Laudrup over elaborate there. He had options, but once again the Scottish defence was carved wide open. Here's John Collins, the half-time whistle has gone, I think, very quietly by the Dutch referee, and applause around the stadium for the Danes. The two Laudrups have cut the Scots apart in defence. Michael Laudrup getting the opener in 8 minutes after the mistake by Colin Henry. Brian Laudrup getting the second in 28 minutes from service from his brother Michael. Jim Leighton pulled off 3 excellent saves. Mikael Beck was a handful up front, and Andy Gorham will be on, I think, for the second half. At half-time, it's Denmark 2, Scotland 0. Peter Schmeichel looks on at his replacement, who's winning only his 5th cap. That's the dominance of Schmeichel in goalkeeping terms in Denmark over the last few years, as Denmark get the second half underway. And Scott Gemmell has also come on for Scotland. He is playing in place of Stuart McCall, and the Scottish player has gone down, injured straight away. So there will be a hold up here for some attention to Colin Henry. Well, that's a cause for some concern without question, because there's no natural replacement on the bench. Let's see how this happened. Henry making the challenge there. Tangle of legs and an awkward landing there for Henry. Well, there's a lot of concern about Colin Henry as Scott Gemmell settles in. Now there's a change made tactically also by the Scots. They have John Collins dropping back into the holding role in midfield, the one vacated there by Stuart McCall, allowing Gemmell to join McAllister in an attacking midfield role. Colin Henry has returned to the fray. Suffered from a broken toe earlier this season. It's a good turn by Gallagher. Help here from Gemmell. Gallagher again. Into Spencer. With her by Risa Herd. This is McKinley. Snapshot there with Klaus Thompson closing him down. The crowd has gone very quiet indeed. 2-goal cushion keeping the Danish supporters happy. A very small contingent of Scottish fans only here. Risa Herd returns it high. Henry quickly to the danger point. Error by Gemmell. Michael Laudrup makes him pay. Oh, brilliant play by Michael Laudrup. The tackle in the end came from John Collins. McAllister trying to demonstrate some skills. That's Boyd. Gemmell working hard, but some wonderful play there from Michael Laudrup. He may try some more of that. Once again, Collins doing well, protecting his defence there in that midfield role. McKinley in trouble. He got some help from Collins. Kelvey getting the better of Collins. Brian Laudrup is Mikael Beck waiting in the middle. He's the target. Superb defending again from Scotland. And this time the good work was done in that far area by Burley. Good defending by Burley. Menace though with every Danish attack. Laudrup here to Nielsen. Queuing up at the far post there with a reasonable chance for Thompson. Well, once again, the big men attacking the ball there for the Danes. Look at the space they had. Michael Laudrup showing immense skill here. Look at this close control. Taking on players away from McAllister. Then he has Gemmell. He's away from both Gemmell and McAllister. Spencer linking with Gemmell. Now Collins. Good sleight of foot there to get away from Beck. Start a Scottish attack. What a difference a goal might make for the Scots. Here's Kevin Gallagher. What can he do here? Good ball in. And just out of reach for Spencer, the goalkeeper. Logan's Crow did well there. Better attacking play from the Scots. Gallagher looking lively. Peck still looking lively up front for Denmark. Henry telling Collins to leave that. The header not good enough though. This is McNeill. McAllister. Intended, I'm sure, for Spencer. Ryan Laudrup trying the early ball into the path of Beck coming into the right. A rear error in possession by Laudrup. Jake Brown with plenty to think about here. Scott Gemmell of Nottingham Forest. The return came from Gallagher. That's McAllister. Now Gemmell again. In comes Spencer. Great chance for Scotland. Spencer couldn't take it. Patiently created by Gemmell and McAllister. Now the Scots are vulnerable. This counter-attack led by Michael Laudrup. Back comes Willie. Well, another chance created there by the Scots. Unable to finish off. Spencer was a player who seemed to become a little bit anxious in front of goal. How badly he needs his first international goal. Here's Beck. Michael Laudrup. Ryan goes to the left. Well, Michael tries to set up Nielsen for a shot at goal. McAllister did well. So did Gallagher. That's an electric turn by Kevin Gallagher. Recovery work though, very effective by Reaper. He's quick for a big man. So there we go, the international football for men like Kevin Gallagher. All the defenders are very quick indeed. Spencer made another good run. Cover provided by Helbig. There's Olsen. Beck. McKinley did well against Thompson. Here's Spencer again. McAllister asking for the ball. Couldn't have been closer. No luck at all for the Scots in front of goal. Gary McAllister again wants the corner kick, which he's not going to get. Well set up here by Spencer. Did the goalkeeper get a touch? McAllister thought so. The referee didn't. Good play by McAllister. Gemmell now has Collins coming from the deep position. Good effort there by Collins. And he really has looked very impressive in that position in the second half, John Collins. And when he makes his late intrusion, he gives himself a shooting chance. No real problem with the keeper though. Collins to Spencer. John Collins, of course, certainly not on trial here. He's played in 14 of the last 16 Scottish internationals, missing only the trip to Japan. Key man. Good play there by Henry. This is Gemmell. The deflection takes the ball straight into the keeper's arms. Well, that time Scotland got in behind the Danish defence. They haven't done that too often tonight. Schoenberg. Collins, McKinley. McKinley gets it back from Helbig. Nowhere to go there. Free kick goes to Scotland. The obstruction by Thompson. Well, McKinley's done his cause no harm tonight. Showing a positive approach here. He tries to go past two players. One straight into Thompson. So we're going to see this free kick before any changes made by the Scots. They're contemplating substitutions. John Collins looking for Henry perhaps in the box. Burley's there also. It's out to McAllister. Good effort by McAllister. Happy to take that on the volley. Gemmell plays it back to him. Low ball played in, causes no problem for the Danes. And now the Scots are vulnerable. Laudrup breaking. Beck is ahead. Michael Laudrup free in the right. Here's Klaus Thompson. A chance for Denmark. Brian Laudrup goes in, tries the back heeler. Boy, he did well, but they really are deadly on these fast counter-attacks. Thompson came a long way to link up with Michael Laudrup. there from Risa Her. It was good defending. He read the intended pass. Beck against Henry. There's Beck again. In goes Boyd. Now Barley needs some help. It's out of play. There's going to be substitutions here by the Scots. The front two are coming off. Spencer and Gallagher. Here's a great chance. Klaus Thompson playing it in there. Laudrup trying to stay on his feet there with a back heeler. Tom Boyd stood up well. So Jackson and McCoist have gone on for Scotland. Darren Jackson goes on to collect his 12th cap. He's playing up front with Ali McCoist. A new striking partnership. McCoist battling hard. Jackson's pass. McAllister's flagged offside. Must have been again extremely close. McAllister looks disbelievingly across the linesman. Played long by Boyd, looking for Jackson. Olsen is there first. That's Nielsen to Nielsen. Now Nielsen to Brian Steen Nielsen. Schoenberg back now with Reaper. Schoenberg making good progress on the left-hand side again. Cut now by Brian Laudrup. Olsen comes from the sweeper position, showing good footwork. Keeping possession for Denmark. Schoenberg now. Brian Steen Nielsen returning the pass to Schoenberg. Good covering there by McKinley. The chance was on for Beck. It needed a touch. A patient build-up play by Denmark, trying to finish this match with a flourish. And the cover was there. Boyd and McKinley did well for Scotland. Brian Steen Nielsen will take this corner kick. Just going into stoppage time now at the end of the match. McCoist waits for support. Here's Boyd. Now Gorham. Well, there's no one upfield for this because they've all gone back to defend for the Scots. Offside it is. Mikael Beck was offside. Well, the Scots have had one or two chances in the match. They had a couple in the first half and they've had a couple again in the second half. They haven't been able to take any of these, and that would have been a huge difference in the morale, I think, had they managed to get something back in the second half. Possession given up lightly again by McKinley. This is Alan Nielsen. Now Schoenberg. For a minute of stoppage time at the end of the game. Possession retained comfortably by the Danes. So Klaus Thompson lets that go to Brian Laudrup. Always a problem when he has possession for the Scottish defence. Again, patience shown by the Danes. They've won the match comfortably enough. The crowd not happy though. Out of the area, McCoist goes across to put pressure on the keeper. Scottish throw. So possession back with the Scots, fittingly with John Collins. McKinley. Caught late there by snapping tackle there from Alan Nielsen, which he didn't appreciate. It's the last action of a match won comfortably in by the Laudrup brothers for Denmark. Ryan with the second goal. Michael is off the field now with the first, the creator of the second. And the second half, the Scots dug in well and restored a little bit of pride after taking a bit of a mauling in the first half, and Jim Leighton was forced to pull off 3 excellent saves, quite apart from the goals lost. Andy Gorham not asked to produce heroics of that kind in the second half, but Denmark convincing winners in the end. It's Denmark 2, Scotland 0.
I must admit that in the first half there was a spell in which every time Denmark came forward we thought we were going to lose a goal. They were tremendously incisive in the counter-attack, and we were very fortunate in some respects only to lose 2 goals in the first half. But I credit the players with a great fighting performance in the second period. I've just come from the press conference where Peter Schmeichel felt that Scotland were the better team in the second half. I think he's kind to us, but at least we showed that we've got fighting qualities and that we're prepared to hang in even when things are going badly against us.
No suggestion perhaps that the Danes were cruising in the second half and taking it more like a training spin?
Well, that's not the suggestion from Richard Muller-Nielsen, their manager, and from the player that was interviewed. They were very keen to continue with a good performance. You would gather the restlessness in the crowd when we had good possession in the second period. And unfortunately, we are not quite as clever at finishing as they are. Every time they come forward, they look to be threatening. We go forward very tentatively, and we must admit that we have a problem in finishing, taking the several chances that we had in the match.
Is it a matter of some concern, though, that the defence, which has been such a bulwark, really, to get you through the Championship finals, seemed to struggle to cope with this attack tonight?
Yes, the defence did. In the first half, the defence was all at sea on certain occasions. Now, obviously, we had a couple of changes at the back there. We were without Alan Maclean and Colin Calderwood. That's no excuse, but when you take 2 experienced, excellent defenders out of a setup that has worked well for us, we're bound to have a time to settle in, and the defence did take a time to settle in. And unfortunately, during that time, Denmark were going through us with a great deal of ease at times. We knew that, but we tightened up. I think you'll agree in the second period that there were very few chances for the home team here, the European champions.
Apart from the fact that the team dug in the second half and fought, what do you take from this game?
Well, we take from it the fact that we know that we're a team of moderate ability, but we know that we're a fighting team and that we've got to be together, we've got to be working as a unit to succeed. We realise our limitations, and I think they were shown tonight, but with a little tightening up in defence and a bit of solidarity, which I think will come from getting even that group of players playing together more often, would work as a unit. And we've certainly got to tighten up defensively, which has been the rock in which our success, our relative success, has been built. Midfield, I thought, were okay, and John Collins in his new anchorman role in the second half played exceptionally well. Gary McAllister was always probing, and Scott Gemmell looked lively when he came on in the second period. So there were pluses. I thought Burley too improved as the game progressed and showed that he can come in the right full-back position if required.
Is there a much chance of you playing the 2 small strikers together again?
Well, I think they had great difficulty together. I think maybe with hindsight the pairing perhaps didn't quite work.
I think we'll settle for 2-0 tonight, Billy, after what was surely a pretty worrying performance.
Well, it was. I think that Craig highlighted the big disappointment was the defensive unit, which has been good and solid for us.
For a new 3-man backline with Mark Wright, the key man alongside Gary Neville and Stuart Pearce. Rangers' Paul Gascoigne was the playmaker, and hitman Robbie Fowler started an international for the first time. Some exciting players in that Croatian lineup, including Prosinecki, Suker, Boban and Boksic. Commentary from Trevor Brooking and Barry Davis.
And you could certainly make a case for saying this is England's biggest test before the European Championship. This is the side that finished higher in their group than Italy, having beaten them in Palermo. First challenge for Stone. And this is Robert Yanni. Stuart Pearce. Great roar as Paul Gascoigne gets possession. Good strong challenge, very effective. Sheringham. And Bjerkan, but one back. Fowler. In comes Stone. And he scored a couple of times for England, but he didn't really look like getting on the end of that and over the top of the ball.
No, they won the ball well, England, and Fowler dinking one towards the far post. It sat up nice, tried to side foot it, but just sliced it.
Good play by Robbie Fowler. Boban. Pavlicic is on the touchline. This is Boban. Pavlicic would come in. Italian contest then between the two clubs of Milan, with Boban getting the better of Ince. Now McManaman. Still McManaman. Well, he managed to get a man over, but Yanni closed the door. Stone. Up comes Stuart Pearce. Sheringham has called for it. A little nudge again, and the goalkeeper in trouble, and then foul Sheringham, and Fowler goes on, but the referee is coming to give a free kick. He has not signalled a score, to the disappointment clearly of the crowd. But it seemed to me that initially Sheringham was pushed there. Then when he got up, well, there was an arm from Sheringham, which might have given the referee's excuse. Then clearly a foul there by the goalkeeper. Fowler carries on, puts the ball in the net, but the referee will not allow it.
There's a long hanging cross, which really should be the goalkeeper's, Murmich. I think Tony Sheringham's arm is up there as it touches his head, but then he does hold him down and stop him retrieving the situation. The linesman didn't give anything this side. It's the actual referee, who was a fair way away, who actually gave the foul.
One-on-one here. Competently done by Gary Neville. Quick for the challenge by Fowler. There's Stuart Pearce placing the ball. And the referee tells him where, which is on the darker shade of green. Good stop, but he got between the two defenders and was unchallenged.
Well, Bilic and Yerkan, the sweeper, got called out. They seemed to leave it for each other. Robbie Fowler's not the tallest of strikers, is he? But he does jump well, and of course it's his runs that make the difference. You see him get between the two defenders, and in the end, he'll feel he should have scored. He didn't head it cleanly, headed it down, but it took just the pace off the ball.
Sheringham, referee allowing the advantage. Ince was fouled, and he's got to do something about Pavlicic, like showing the yellow card immediately. He's playing the wrong code at the moment. Good action by the Polish referee. He probably wishes he hadn't been selected at the moment, Pavlicic. Ince. Stone pulls back on this side. Plenty forward here. Sheringham. Platt is offside. Ball in the net for the second time, but Christian header by Rush. By Sheringham. Beautifully played, but Platt had moved too soon. Neville. Stone forward right side. Sheringham also on the right side. Back to Pearce on the left. Gascoigne faced by Boban. Pulled all back by two. Sheringham. Stone. Driven across this time. Pavlicic. Surprising his goalkeeper a little bit. He didn't seem to be quite as dangerous as he thought. He wasn't actually challenged. Wondering where McManaman was, perhaps. He's here. Couldn't be. That could very nearly have been, though, by Sheringham. It's a good save. Wasn't room for the overhead from Ince. But Sheringham, ahead of him, found the room. And it needed a good stop.
Not been totally convincing up there in the air, the Croatians up to now. I think if there is a sign of weakness, it is on crosses.
Got a push and shove in the 6-yard area, and Murmic waved at it a bit, but got enough contact. Kozinetsky. Isn't entirely convinced Johan Cruyff at Barcelona. He might have appreciated that bit of skill until the end. Hasn't found the ball into the box, Steve Stone, that England had here been looking for. Neville, better clipped. Good save from Platt. But what a difference it makes when the cross is a good whipped-in ball. And David Platt, who got on the end of the cross from Gary Neville, must have thought it was going to be goal number 27 of his England career. Certainly got plenty of power, but the goalkeeper found it coming straight to him and was able to block it.
I mean, the marking on crosses is suspect there. Again, Pavlicic, the fullback, was the one that got the wrong side of David Platt.
Terry Venables will be disappointed his side is not in the lead at half-time. But the 54th different opponent to face England have in truth been really disappointing. One change in the Croatian side at the start of the second half of this Green Flag International. On comes Mario Stanic, who plays for the Belgian champions Bruges. He's on in place of Bobin, who clearly isn't match fit. And the captaincy is taken over by Davor Suker. Presumably would like to see rather more of the ball in the second half. Count by the referee. Away go England, who certainly had the better of the first 45 minutes, but do just wonder how much the opposition are steadying themselves, just getting the feel of playing in England. The European Championship starting in 45 days, June the 8th, when England plays Switzerland here in Group A. Croats are in Group D, along with Denmark, Portugal and Turkey. That's foreseen by Stimets, who's got the shooting chance and was close.
An excellent strike, wasn't it? Confidence to push forward, and just with the outside of his right foot just drifting away from the post. Seaman probably had it covered.
Stone. Palmer pulls away. And got a little touch in McManaman! Unlucky McManaman. Real pace in that. In by Stone. It actually bounced off Fowler. McManaman was quick but just wide.
Well, this was a ball Robbie Fowler tried to control and set it up perfectly for McManaman. Just clipped Mic's body and took it beyond the post, but unlucky McManaman coming through the central position for once.
Platt wanted it early. McManaman again. A little bit of pushing and Fowler over the top. Bobbled a bit in front of him. But McManaman made all that happen, really. Platt was the player who gave the final ball. But just watch as the ball comes across. It sat up a little bit and he got underneath it and over the top.
Good ball in. McManaman breaking from that centre and with his left foot this time, setting up Robbie Fowler and should have scored. How do you play this style of football, make the transition, but still have that cutting edge to score the goals that you're going to need at this level, particularly as you're the host nation, and English supporters are going to have to be very, very patient if they're going to play this style, because there might not be the normal goal-mouth action that they're used to.
Murmic uses his head and is still in trouble. The Croatians survive. Found it was too far outside. Ball went more up than away off his head. McManaman. Kozinetsky. England ball. I think he'll remember his first match here. Could actually have held it. Off the post. Inside netting. Nearest yet. Really sorted himself out well, McManaman, and unlucky on the follow-up with Sheringham. And the final whistle ends a disappointing evening for the crowd, and well, he will tell us what he feels, but I think the general feeling is we just don't know.
With Euro 96 in mind, do you think England are becoming more adaptable?
We've got to, because it's all very well having the expectancy and saying we're going to do this and we're going to... If we're not going to be up to date with what other teams are doing, we're going to come unstuck. And we want to do, and I want to do everything I can to make sure we don't. All we can do is do our best, and that's what we're doing. And I think everyone is concentrating and listening to what we're doing, and that has been very satisfying from our point of view as coaches.
Willie, that boiled-down version of the game showed England being pretty unlucky. They had a lot of chances, but for long periods of the game too, there was a lack of spark about them, was there not?
Well, I think it's a problem, and it's been a problem for some time now, in that they're playing friendlies, and it's very difficult for players to get themselves lifted for friendlies. It's difficult for the crowd as well. Terry Venables is trying so many permutations and so many different players in different positions. He's still searching for his best team, but I keep getting back to they're playing at home. They're playing all their games at Wembley. The last time they did that was in '66, and we know what happened then. So I think they'll be strong. I still think England will be strong come the time.
Is it a problem, Billy, that Terry Venables has too many strikers to choose from? It's not a problem we have.
No, it's not. Well, it seems to be, and it's astonishing when you look at the quality of striker that he has. I don't think they're all that far away, because to me they looked more than a reasonable side tonight. They were a bit unlucky when it came to finishing. They hit the post a couple of times, one or two things got scrambled away in front of goals, but I honestly think they'll be a threat, and to underestimate them would be very, very silly.
Willie, Terry Venables is not slow to bring in the young players, and it looked as if maybe the young players are almost the best thing about the side at the moment, likes of Neville, McManaman, Fowler, confident young players.
Yeah, I think you've got to give young players their chance, but you know, these guys are playing at the top level week in, week out. Not only are they playing at the top level week in and week out, they're doing very well at the top level. So it's not a difficult decision for a manager if he's going to these top games and he's seeing the players perform well. They're young players, but they've got old heads and young shoulders.
Billy, the Croatian coach tonight accused England of being too predictable and sterile.
Well, we hear that all the time, but I think that's what Terry Venables was saying. He's got to try and get rid of that image. When you think of the type of player, he's got Gascoigne in his team, he's got Sheringham up front, and it's hard to imagine a team being predictable with players of that quality. But you know, I think they'll be there, and anyone, as I say, who would dare to underestimate them might be sadly wrong.
OK, thanks. If England or Scotland are to reach this summer's quarter-finals, beating group mate Switzerland would appear to be a must. The Swiss warmed up against Wales in Lugano tonight. This is how they started, it's not how they finished. Between them, the teams made 12 substitutions, so don't worry too much about the numbers. Welsh keeper Neville Southall didn't feature at all for experimental reasons. He missed his first international in more than 7 years. The Welsh are in dark blue. Brief highlights with Tony Gabba.
5 of this Swiss team currently play their football abroad in Germany and France, and the likely starting 11 when Switzerland play England in the opening match of the European Championship could include as many as 8 foreign-based players. And Switzerland again win it back. Here's on show Sforza. Little back heel by Turkilmaz. Sforza, good save, Coyne. The first time that Switzerland have opened up the Welsh defence, really, and Danny Coyne was equal to it. Switzerland won 4-0 when these teams met back in 1949. Wales winning in Wrexham in 1951. When Trevor Ford got 2 of the goals, but that's another free kick given by this Italian referee. little discussion involving Turkil Maz before Switzerland take this free kick. They've got the height of Grassi in the penalty area. Vega, the defenders, in there as well. Oh! Well, that may be an own goal. Chris Coleman was under intense pressure. But the local decision is that it was a header from Marco Grassi, the number 9. Arthur Georges, the manager, won't mind who had the final touch. Well, it looks to Chris Coleman to me, although Grassi will probably claim it. And that's a real blow for Wales, who have defended well. And Danny Coyne, who's kept them out twice, finally beaten from a header by his own defender. Chapuisa, marked by Vinnie Jones. Grassi! Well, that one did come off the head of the centre forward, as opposed to the own goal by Coleman. But again, Coyne was well positioned. Orel. Schwarzer. Switzerland lost just the one qualifying game in claiming their place in the European Championship in the summer. Oh, Coyne punched it. Here's Mark Bowen. And in fact, there's an offside flag going up on the far side. It's really the first unsteady touch by the keeper, who was at full stretch to reach the deflected cross. Might have pushed it out to a Swiss player in a better position. Grassi felt the full challenge of Chris Coleman as that ball arrived. And Switzerland with a free kick. Wales would not certainly want to concede any more goals before half-time. They don't want to concede too many free kicks like that. The Swiss manager, Arthur Georges. Turkil Maz abandoned on this left flank. Whipped inside the 6-yard box. Coleman puts it out for the corner. And Wales might wonder about the marking then, particularly on Turkil Maz, who was out wide. He was just waiting to receive it and whipped in a real teaser. In comes the corner. Vinnie Jones with a good clearing header. Fogel. Grassi goes down over the the referee has pointed to the spot. Coleman's challenge, and there will be certainly arguments of disagreement on that Welsh bench. There's the turn by Grassi. Coleman stretches. Well, he didn't make contact with the ball, and you'd have to say that Grassi certainly made the most of the challenge. He wasn't going to leave the referee in any doubt what he thought. Turkil Maz has placed the ball ever so carefully on that penalty spot. It's a very short run-up. It's Switzerland 2, it's Wales 0, and we've 3 more minutes to go to half-time. And after half an hour of good defending by Wales, they've conceded 2 goals in the space of 10 minutes. And suddenly there's a completely different complexion on the game. Turkil Maz with his 19th international goal. Here's Bowen. Now Vinnie Jones, giving himself a bit more room. Pascolo not handling it with that much confidence. Hartson. Vega again was very tight to him. Pembridge. Here's Gary Speed. Vinnie Jones. Oh, he's put Coleman under pressure. And Bowen Well, they're lucky, Wales. Hartson and Pembridge, and well covered by Onshow, who showed a good turn of heel. That's really the first time that Wales have looked like opening them up, and one or two fortunate rebounds contributing to that. Hottiger. There's Onshow. 6 is Vicky. Again, Switzerland have Wales press back deep in their own half. Here's Hottiger on his left foot. Simon Davies stuck with him. Mark Hottiger, who moved from Newcastle to Everton this season, a move that was delayed for a while over the work permit problem, bursting up from fullback, having come on as a half-time substitute. And Simon Davies, also a half-time substitute, winning his first cap. And Pembridge keeps it in play, but Switzerland just wait. Onshow. Here's Hottiger, who's so nearly a goal scorer. And Turkil Maz, who's been a real thorn in the Welsh defence. Gets it back from Grassi. Left foot. Good strike. And Andy Marriott, who is playing the second half, has to make his first save. Former Arsenal and Nottingham Forest player, now with Wrexham. And it was close enough to be comfortable. So come to Gary Speed. Hartson trying to hold off his marker. Again, Vega managed to get a foot on it. Simon Davies. Speed goes on the overlap. Here's Savage. Rodney Savage. Into the 6-yard box. Oh, Hartson nearly had it. And it's finally away by Vega. But a little bit of initiative then came from the feet of the 21-year-old Crewe player. Knocked it wide of the challenge to give himself acres of room, and a real teaser into the 6-yard box. And John Hartson gets a boot in here that almost gets the connection it required. Here's Simon Davies. Wales still looking to try and get something out of this match. Hartson. Here's Pembridge. Hartson shot! Well, it's his first strike, and we're inside the last 5 minutes. Player who currently can't command a regular place in Arsenal's first team. And Switzerland looking to respond quickly. Here's Canoop. Robbie Savage with the important little touch. And now Gary Speed can complete the clearance. Onshow again carrying it well forward. No offside. Here's Canoop. Just Marriott to beat. Oh, and the keeper did well. He forced him wide, tightened the angle, and then sharp enough to smother the ball. And it's the best chance that Switzerland have had in the second half of extending their lead.
Billy, I said that Scotland and England would...
Go to TV now. You know how people are always leaving stuff at the cafe?
Thanks, I could use one.
Mom, ain't we got no more lemonade?
It's ain't we got any more lemonade?
No, we ain't got no more, so drink your milk. What the hell kind of haircut do you call that?
It's a Mongo buzzard cut for nerds.
I saw it in a magazine. It's what they're all wearing.
It's really cool, Mom. Carla wants one just like it.
You know, your Aunt Faye's always saying if we got to Boulder, she'd train me in her shop and I'd make a first-class stylist.
You give the best haircuts, Mom.
You know, Lila's going to New Mexico to pick up Denny's boy, and I was thinking it'd be nice to go.
Well, you know I ain't got no time till November.
Well, I was thinking maybe... I was thinking it'd be nice.
Impulse 02.
The Citroën Xandia has one of the most advanced suspension and handling systems in the world. A system that compensates for every bump and bend the road can throw at you. So when they say there's no rock and roll, they mean it.
When an iron clogs up with scale, it stops steaming. Not this one. This Tefal steam iron has a unique replaceable cassette, which filters out the scale in tap water and helps prevent clogging. So the iron just keeps on steaming day after day. Tefal filter scale. It'll suit you to a Tefal.
So what is the secret of Friskies Go-Cat? Nuggets with herring for muscle tone, tuna for good eyesight, and vegetables to complete the meal. Friskies Go-Cat is a complete meal, as tasty as it is crunchy. Friskies Go-Cat, for cats with an appetite for life.
At Reed Furniture, pay absolutely nothing for 18 months and then take 3 years interest-free credit.
So it's goodbye from me and a goodbye from Reed.
First prize in the Reader's Digest prize draw is £250,000. So if you receive some numbers, return them at once before the payout begins.
I need a computer, but which one? They're not cheap, and suppose I wanted to change it later. Ah, radio rentals. Uh-huh. So I could give it back in a year's time, or swap it for the latest model. Why wait?
Ace from McVitie's. The incredibly thick chocolate biscuit.
Classic jazz from the golden era in Jazz Greats. Every fortnight a different star on CD or cassette. 60 minutes of jazz. Jazz Greats.
Mike and the Mechanics hits. A collection of 13 classic songs, together for the first time. The very best of Mike and the Mechanics. Massive hits, memorable songs. Mike and the Mechanics hits.
Impulse 02.
Honey, you asked me for a picture? Well, the only one I could get looks like I got hit in the mouth with a tire iron. But anything that's mine, you can have.
Now, what's this I hear from Lila about you wanting to go to Mexico?
Not in Mexico, Vern. New Mexico. I was just thinking it'd be fun, you know?
Well, how